So here we are. I'm just gonna put this camera on. So, and then here we go. Just have to check a small thing, I think. Yeah, that's good. So here we are. The stream is starting, and I hope you join. So it's upside down, actually. I guess that doesn't matter, does it? Hopefully not. Hopefully it doesn't matter. Maybe I should turn the camera the other way. Let's see that here. So here we are. I'm gonna do a big portrait today. Landscape, as you can see. There's a long channel. No, yes. Yes. YouTube. Now feel free to ask questions and stuff if you like. That is totally okay. There we are. So, boom, 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 hearts. And yeah, here we are. Oh, I'm getting thinner. Stirring sound? Yes, sir. Okay, it's I just have to check because yeah, it's such a bad lighting. But okay, fuck it, you know. Just need to get my coffee. So, here we go. So this is one of these Q&A things. I guess if you like, you can ask me questions, or we can have a conversation. And yeah, you never know, never know. And here we are, everything's fine. Now, how is the, I just need to analyze this a little bit. See here. So, close, 7. Yes, okay, it should be okay. Everything seems great, I think. Here we are. Feel free to ask me questions. And then I will just start paint. Maybe I can move it a little bit closer. Nah, doesn't matter. That was good. Or who? Yes, I'm working with this now. It is the start. I start on a second layer today. Also, as usual, making a full tutorial, a full process video on my YouTube channel. I needed to fix basically everything today, and because it was so many mistakes, really ridiculous. It is actually over many years since I actually started off this, and just been kept. Also went away for a while, as you might know. If you're part of my channel, you probably know that. So I didn't get to do much on it, but now I am ready to finish this. And I also have his sister. It's the same size, same place. The thing with this landscape is that it is more toned down than my usual landscapes. It isn't sunlight, it's more evening, and it's a little bit cloudy, so the contrast aren't that good, that extreme. Usually I would basically work with a little bit more contrast, but in this it is. Is it possible to have it to make some sound? No, because I turned actually off the sound. So I can't really, yeah. Can you see now? See here, because there's a delay if I listen to, I'm doing this with my phone, and if I had the sound on my computer, I wouldn't really see the comments. So that's how it is. Now I moved everything, moved this down here. I painted it too high. The face was wrong, so I just need to redo the whole. Basically, I almost re-sketched the whole thing today. I filmed, of course, part of the process. I can't film everything because what is a shame is that I couldn't actually post the videos that are 1 month long, so you can see the full process of a painting, because it takes a lot of time. It would be impossible to make a tutorial or a process video. A full process video, just in a few hours. Hello, darling. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, thank you for watching, darling. If you have some smart questions to ask, you can trigger me as usual to talk about painting or life or existence and everything. So please do. You can also ask me, in a way, personal questions. Let's see now. Put out here. Okay. Shoot. Shit. There's back. 10 people in here. Remember to smash that like button. It's very important for the algorithm. Just leave a little comment if you can. Just hello, I'm here, something. And the more comments I get, the more algorithm I get, and the more I will stream. Because this will be, I think it's going to be I do this many times a week in different paintings, so you can also communicate more directly with my captive audience, as they say. Now, if you like to, of course, give me a super chat or support me, you can do that by going to the Buy Me a Coffee, or you can sign up on PATRON if you like me to teach you how to paint. But also in this video or this stream, you can ask me painting questions, and I will answer every question you ask me Please don't call me fat because I don't like that. I'm just kidding. Looks good, thank you. BA, humblinger. Hey, you want to give me a super chat? Just kidding. I can't force it. If I could, I would be a rich man by now. Well, you have to build, I guess you have to build an audience over time. It's nice to be able to stream because it's an easier way, a more dynamic way to create videos. And if people actually ask me some painting questions, it's easier for me to talk about stuff. No, I'm a talker, there's no doubt about that. It's funny because my girlfriend, she's actually here. And Amalia, you can say hello to Amalia, B.A. Humdinger. What colors you use to paint the sky out when it looks so white? In the photo, I use exactly the same colors that I would use if it was a sunny, and you just put them together differently. If I see, as I see here, I can show you over here. It's more bluish. Then it goes over to here, since there's blue, and you have kind of greenish behind here, and you have up here is actually more reddish, but it's more greenish, and down here it becomes greenish and violet, and there's some soft clouds behind there, which is a violet or blue, and you just have to kind of see. It's exactly the same colors. Here it's kind of green, blue, red, it's all the colors, but it kind of goes from the cold here to the, or is it warm? Warm there, cold, warm, cold, cold sea, very warm things, that light that actually is here is very warm again, so it's a lot of strange contrasts. Hello. She actually have a YouTube channel. She's becoming a very good painter, so please follow her on YouTube. So yeah, it is basically the same color. It's just a little bit difficult to see, so I have to focus and think a little bit different. And this painting is of course then a little bit different challenge than when I do very strong, almost spotlight type of sunlight actually I saw this beautiful photo from Ukraine hit Russia airport today with some rockets, and everything just went really boom, and there is some beautiful high landscapes with these explosions in the background. It's all reddish, and I actually painted a painting from the Iraq War, which is called Red Sand, where I actually painted a painting which was of a photo which was taken by infrared camera. So this has some of the same tones. So I wonder if I'm going to paint the first war painting for my human condition exhibition, and kind of do everything at the same time in a way that might be a good idea to get started. The thing here is that it's really, everything is very close, and but it's strange because today when I saw this sketch again, and I saw wow, I did so many mistakes, and I always tell Amalia to focus and sketch very slowly so she get things right. And then I keep on doing that same mistake myself, that I kind of overrate my own abilities. Is that the correct word? Yeah, abilities. But then again, it's the type of painting where you can actually do mistakes and get benefits from a mistake, because already now there's a lot of very nice brushwork here, and I'm only in the beginning of the process. So yeah. But yeah, you just use the same colors. Here it would be very thick, now it's quite subdued, but it will build a lot of white, you know, and a lot of different colors into the sky. And of course it will stream while doing it, so yeah. See, people are popping in here, 13 now, that's fun. Give a thumbs up, and please leave a comment if you're new here or old or whatever, if you can. Let's see here. Yeah, and likes are very much appreciated, because for the algorithm. I just have to keep banging on about that in between here, because not many people sticks around. What I also see in the sky here is a lot of Prussian blue. But I'm going to do a stream with the sky also, not just today. I will concentrate a little bit on the face. Maybe I'll do some sky also. Just need some Prussian blue on my palettes. I can't always become so happy when I do my painting. I feel great. It's kind of it's nice to have a job which is actually basically your free time. One of the few things that bring me away from my stressful mind is painting. So, yeah. Let me see now. I'm just gonna also want to try to do. I need some medium. This is just 70% turpentine, and 30% that is cremolinen vernis. I think there is a cicative in it. This cremolinsed oil varnish. So that's my medium. And yeah, I think I want to go and try to. Do you think I should go closer? Somebody tell me. I can move that. Move it a little bit closer so people can actually see more what I'm doing. Anyway, I will just. When I go with the details here, I will be quite loose in the beginning, because I will just follow. Also, everything is so in the dark, you know, you can't really see the pupils. Is it pupils? It's the same word as if you're in school. Pupils? How was to pronounce that actually in English? So, get it in here. Amalia, do you think I'm gonna move that camera a little closer? Anyway. Okay. Maybe she's going to sleep. It's evening for her. And I'm just super hyperactive, so I can probably bang on for a few more hours. And that's a good thing. That was not correct, that's for sure. It's nice to have it beside that, because you can take and you can just take the mirror and like this and you can actually see, oh shit, that's so wrong. And this chin is way too need to do like this. You see, I'm not just correcting today, trying to get it right. Cutting in here. Because I felt I had done it a little bit too high. The head was, sometimes I doesn't see properly. I like to look at your arms. Maybe it's the wrong person to ask. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, that's fine. Wrong person to ask. Anyway, this is a conversation anyway, and it's limited. I will make streams that are closer anyway. Let's just see in general how I work. So, yeah. Anyway, people come and go probably, so. You can see I actually up my earnings a little bit every time I stream, so I think it's a good thing to do that. Actually, like this. Now he has this second day, third day beard, and like the other portrait I did. As you see here, I just do like this. Usually I go more successivt, or how do you say successivt in Norwegian? No, in English. It's like more. Well, I don't know the word in English, so. So and so. You see now. Where do I add more? I think his ears also is going to be a little bit bigger. Or his ear, not ears, but ear. And that is kind of in the red. So try to go out a little bit here. Yeah, I think that was better. Like this. It's funny when I paint here, it's like, it's a little bit, still a little bit cold, but I think it kind of sharpens my brain. That is, it's not that I'm freezing, but I notice if I have too much clothes on, it's almost like my brain is clogging up. So for you who wonder why I paint in a tank top, it's not really because of my arms or my tattoos. It's just that it feels more free and more chill, actually, if I have a t-shirt on or some sweater that I sometimes have to do in here during winter time. I kind of feel I heat up too much in many ways, so I prefer that it's chilly. I remember when I was arrested and I were in total panic in January in 2020. It was really cold outside and I consciously painted basically freezing to remove my my attention from the angst and all the shit that happened into painting. Also, I had listened to a guy I today find a little bit crazy. You know that what is it called again? The Iceman, Finnish guy who do a lot of cold plunges. I don't know if it worked, but it actually took my attention away from my ruminating. I was ruminating so much, you know. I tend to ruminate a lot, and when shit happens, I ruminate all the time. If I'm heartbroken or some friends, something happened, I kind of ruminate over things for constantly. And the cold actually helped to stop the ruminating. I noticed that also when I was inside, that if I took a cold shower and stuff, if I started ruminating, it really helped to stop the wheel from spinning. Yeah, so yeah, correct. Yeah. Let's see, just take a look and that was a little bit better. It is really quite amateurish looking right now. But that is my process. So I don't work from recipes, I just work with it like a Scotist, so I just change things and add and subtract until it becomes. See now, okay, we'll start to do a little more direction work. How to squint a lot. What helps when the nuances are so subtle is squinting. Now we'll start to do direction work, as I said. And squinting is actually very helpful to see correctly. We'll leave the eyes for now. Try to build the frame first. When you in a portrait, the way people look or put their eyes, it will always actually be transferred into the frame of the face. So even if you don't paint in the eyes, you will have some feeling of how where they look because of the way the face moves, I guess. If that makes sense. Let me see now. So it's kind of a boxer's nose. Hope he doesn't see this video when I hear you say that. That wouldn't be good. I forgot to place it on Instead, no, that was a shame. I was actually going to have this stream or brilliant. Anyway, we'll do that next time. See here. I was actually not going to touch the eyes, but I will do that anyway. Maybe I should move it a little bit closer. A little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. So you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Like here, maybe. Is this good? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Is that a little bit too close, maybe? Yeah, anyway. I can move it back and forth, actually. I can take it closer and over away. Now, what I'm using when I do this, it is basically ultramarine and the different red and this yellow. I always talk about this. The color I always constantly forget. It's amazing. I've been using this for 30 years, or now 20 years. Naples Yellow Extra. I use that with Alzarine and the different blue. Like the color I use the most is ultramarine or French ultramarine, deep, and with that yellow, it tend to. I can bring it towards the green, and I can use the Alzarine to bring it back to the violet or back to the reddish, and then I can use some vermilion in it to create a more orange type of color, because there's not much clean colors here. They're kind of subdued, and yeah, only light is actually down here and here, which explains his. It's almost a little bit greenish behind there, but then again I see a lot of Prussian blue, Prussian blue, and there's violet, and there's a lot of green and red contrast, green, blue, violet, all these. See here, I really enjoy this. The funny thing is, when I paint without my glasses, I didn't really need my glasses today, because I keep myself in ketosis, and my eyesight actually clears up, and I can't say that enough. That is like, for me, that is like the canary in the coal mine, because when I eat the wrong foods, my eyesight the day after, everything is just blurry. And drink alcohol or something like that, and for days my eyesight are blurry. So I think it's very important to stay in ketosis, in fat burning. So yeah. And the thing here, that this face is basically almost natural size. I think it's almost natural size, a little bit smaller. So I have a lot to work with. And I can use bigger pencils also when I do it, so yeah. Yeah, I see we have people popping in and out all the time, so if they can smash the like button, that would be amazingly, fantastically, beautifully great. bright. And if you can do a super chat. Asking people for money. Appreciate me. So, see, usually I go like this from the side. Now I put a lot of. Can you just see that in the video? Yeah, in a way. I need to get a better camera. Promise I will soon get a better camera. So. Yeah. Okay. Mm. Okay. See now. Maybe I should actually try to do some detail work or some with not detail but sketch in the face. Actually, I would need some round pencils. That would have helped immensely. I just needed to drink some coffee. So, okay. There's so many different colors in this skin tone. It's like bluish here. There's so much shine from the sky that hits here. It's blue on top of red on top of here the air. I can actually see the color of the sky here in this air. So when it comes like this, there will be a highlight with basically blue, which is exactly there. So it's basically, and also I see it here. It kind of reflects the sky and also here. So there are a lot of highlights. There's a lot of things happening in it, but it's on a lower level. So yeah. I think it's smart to actually paint something that is this different from other things. Yeah. See. Okay. Maybe I should try to do something with the eyes and stuff, as I did say. But I cannot just jump around here. Yeah, there was a question. That's difficult to get right, yeah, the highlights. Yeah, that's true, I'm talking about that. It's very subdued, all of it, and there's a lot of blue, and as I said, there's a lot of, you can actually see in the air here that hits the light from the sky. But also, there's a lot of warm, and you probably see it better if I had a better camera, but there's a lot of warm and cold, and a lot of colors in the sky. I just need to kind of build it. I'm going to build it thick, so the contrast becomes it's not that it's so pronounced, the difference in the sky, but there's a lot of things happening in it. So I have a lot to work with actually. It's just a little bit different than I usually do. So yeah, it's just liberating to work on it again because it's been I haven't had time for it until now, and I just try to finish old works now so I can get to the new things I'm going to paint. Very much looking forward to. I have so many sketches, you have no idea. I have so much, and all the unfinished paintings I have, or paintings that I have exhibited and now feel that wasn't really good enough and I want to do more on them. I just have to start somewhere and start finishing things instead of just look at it and think about it. It's like Marcus Aurelius says in, or is it Seneca or Marcus Aurelius in Stoicism? It's like, how do you finish things? Well, you start. That's the whole idea, you know, you just have to start and you have to keep starting up, and when you keep starting up, sooner or later you're going to be able to finish it. Because it's really frustrating, it's devastating actually to not to finish stuff. It can really be a disruptor because you get overwhelmed by all the unfinished business. It is funny because mainly it's not that many, so when I see the colors I actually use, it's not that many really. It took me an age, yeah. Wrote the face, man. Probably took me 12 months on and off. Yeah, I can understand perfectly what you mean because it's so much more difficult. And we also kind of, the problem with the human condition is that we are basically made to avoid pain. And if something becomes a little bit too overwhelming and difficult, we tend to not wanting to do it. That is why students and stuff always start studying the 3 days before the exam, and many fail because of that, and then they have to do the whole thing all over again. And you just need some more whites actually. Where's my whites? White, where are you, whites? Actually, I don't have that much time on it because I gave up on it twice. Yeah, I don't know. You thought the same paint? Oh yeah, I thought the same paint. If it becomes too difficult, it really you just have to start. You know, it's just I know this process by heart. If I just manage to start, I will usually. It has happened that I have given up actually, but usually I managed at some point to save it. So, but it can be hard, yeah, no doubt about it. The less sculptural a photo is, or the motif is, the harder it is. No doubt about it. You see now. It is funny to be a painter really, because I just delivered one commission a couple of days ago. You have seen the streams probably, maybe someone. And I felt so, what a release. I was struggling with it so much. And now I'm back to another. And also deadlines are a killer, especially when you do portraits. So I will try my best to stop coming in that situation where I don't have much time. Actually on this I really do not have that much time. I think I have like, they should have gotten it years ago actually. So, and I thought I wanted it to the 20th of April, but then they said they want to come get it in the beginning of April, and that is basically 10 or 11 days, and that's going to be hard pressed, but I will do my best, so see what happens. The shine here too, you know, it's green, it is violet, it is alsarin, there's some greenish in the background, but oh, you know, there's so many colors. Here you have the alsarin, clearly the alsarin, and here you have the Prussian blue, and there's more green, so there's a mix, you know, this is actually probably a mix between this color and that color. The greenish with more to the Prussian blue, and then this mixes the shadow color. So you basically have to mix together alsarin and to get that shadow there, down here. You have to mix alsarin and Prussian blue and other blue and different blue. So yeah, but I do it in a very dynamic process where I basically mix much of the colors on the canvas actually. Like I just do like this and mix them together this way. Also, I'm still, you know, I'm basically re-sketching now because there were so many mistakes. So. If there's somebody new here, remember to give it a thumbs up. It's very important. Also, say hi, leave a small comment, and yeah. It's nice for me to know that you don't have to have a conversation or something. It's just nice to see that someone actually is watching. So, I'm going to try to do that. It goes down like this, down here. And this one goes all the way down there. So, or is it this one that has to go? Yeah, this one has to go higher, I think. Actually, it's up here. So, there. Yeah. And then this comes more. What's that? Everything is wrong here, so I just have to focus and re-sketch. I see when they look at the paintings, the older or the last paintings of Rembrandt, he was also painting in that way, and that is probably why there is so much texture in this painting. It was almost like he was just going with the flow and yeah. And just adding color as he went along. Let's see now. Try to observe. This one is. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see. Alsarin, put in some French ultramarine and Alsarin. I'm gonna try Kraplak soon, because that is basically also Alsarin, just to see what happens. Actually, that's fantastic. The buttons here are just totally almost yellowish, greenish, because so it's basically a rainbow, you know. The colors are just totally reflected in his clothes. And it's quite fascinating actually to see. It is strange to, as I said in the video earlier today, that we used to be a bacteria in the sea 4 billion years ago, and now I'm standing here painting a guy standing at the beach, done from a photo taken by an ape with a thumb and a big brain. It's just so, existence is just so extremely absurd that it, when you start thinking about it, is just mind-boggling amazing. And as Carl Sagan did say, we are a way for the universe to know itself. And humans are so amazing. They are so amazing, and that is why it's so sad that people like Putin just are sacrificing both Ukrainian lives and Russian lives in a meaningless war just to kind of keep up his own ego, because he doesn't have the depth to acknowledge real life and real existence. And it's sad. It's sad every time someone destroys other consciousness. It took the universe 13.8 actually billion years to create us, and these motherfuckers just destroy everything. And Trump is his friend. Jesus. You know, you should choose your friends more, shall we say. Be a little bit more picky than hanging out with people that have killed millions for their own ego. It goes beyond the greater good, I think, anyway. So, also one has to get this to feel like it's, the thing is that it's very green, let's see now, what kind of color is that? There's a difference in hue and a difference in color. I think this is more in the French ultramarine, or is it actually, it's almost like all the different colors, the green and the red and the blue and the, so many colors. And the problem with painting that is that you have to add colors to it. You can't just paint it white, because it will just, it's like painting black, only black shadows. You use black to do the shadows and it's dead. And the same thing happens if you don't use enough color in the white. But if you use too much color in the white, it doesn't look white anymore. So you kind of have to, there is a different. There are so many things. Oh. Yeah. But this one behind here, there's actually a lot of al-salim. Remember the thumbs up button. It's very important. Yeah, it's 8 until now. No super chat though. Does somebody give me a super chat? Come on, be the first one. Actually, my girlfriend tested it out, so it works. Think I could get my first super chat today? That would be fantastic. Come on! Let me see now. So I'll lay thick colors behind there, because that will kind of drag. It's like the sky is dragging him in, and that is why I always will put in thick colors behind there, because that will actually make it also a difference in texture and stuff. And yeah, I painted that woman standing at the sea. Yeah, that was one of the really difficult ones. And she also had some plastic surgery done to her face, so that made it even a beautiful woman actually. But when they have done a little bit of plastic surgery or some fillers, it can be really difficult, because kind of looks a little bit off when it comes to being natural. And as an artist, I start struggling with, because my brain doesn't accept what I'm painting as what I'm seeing, so that can be a big problem. Yeah. So no fillers, please. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move it a little bit further away again. I'm also gonna move this a little bit so I can have some more workspace here. This. That was too high. Too high. There, I think. Yeah. Something like that. So. That was basically the same. Anyway. Move it a little bit further away. Remember the thumbs up. So, I think you can actually see some of the colors here, but it's going to be painted over many times. So, but the main thing will of course be this area, which I will build and build and build. That is why 10 days for this painting might be a stretch, but I will do what I can. So. One super chat. I would like to have my first super chat. Just have to keep repeating that every time new people popping in. So that would make me so happy. Let's see here. And if somebody is still here and want to ask me a question, please do. Sometimes I need triggers to know what to talk about. Anyway, I can't really, I have to look over here to see if there is any comments. It's better when I get the camera, I can link to the computer, because then I can see it more directly. Let's see. Like this. Okay, I'm going to do some work. Just try these and maybe work in some of the details. The eyes, focus a little bit on the eyes. No, I'm standing in a way, actually. That is not smart. So if I do like this, it kind of turns when I do like this, it kind of twists the whole thing. So that's a problem, of course. But, you know, the paint actually twists more than the photo, and since the photo is more that way, it kind of twists a little bit less than this, so it seems like the thing is wrong, but it isn't. So yeah, I'm just trying to sketch the eyes just very slightly. This is quite a nice pencil to do this because it's so soft, and there's not going to be any lines. I mean, if you look at the classics like Vermeer, what makes his paintings so beautiful is that he always managed to make the lines just disappear, and it becomes so poetic and so subtle and so beautifully human. It feels real. If you have too many lines, it becomes drawn, and you don't feel that it is always, yeah, it's right. Now, yeah, see more of me here than, well, whatever. Try to stand like this, like in a porn flick, when they fuck and they stand like this so the camera can. I shouldn't say that on the stream, by the way, because they ask me when I post these if there is any foul language in these videos, and if you use too many words like this, it gets demonetized. So I should be careful with my foul mouth. It's, yeah. My foul mouth. See now. Yeah. Oh, my hair looks so thin. Anyway, if somebody want to ask some questions or something, feel free. You don't have to pay for the answers, not at this point anyway. So later when I have hundreds of questions when I stream, I probably have to limit it to the super chats, but that is probably into the future. Well, thumbs up is priceless today. I actually read about this. YouTube care more about likes and views than subscribers. Personally, I care more about new subscribers because it kind of, I can actually see it in a way. And of course, as you get more subscribers, you will also more people will put on notifications and stuff like that. But for the getting the stuff kind of put out into the algorithm, the thumbs up are very, very important. So anyway, this is too soft for this kind of work. 13 is looking, which means there's 2 new ones. So if you want to ask me questions, please do. And I will do my best to answer your questions about painting or whatever. You can ask me anything, basically. It doesn't mean that I will answer every question, of course, but you can ask me everything. That's fine. I have a thick skin and a broad back, as to say, and I'm not easily offended. I think I'm actually quite unoffendable by now. I don't have that narcissistic tendency to get insulted. So, yeah, I don't have that. Really? I've been streaming now 67 minutes already? Jesus, time froze. Wow. Maybe I should go for 3 hours today. At least 2. I think there is a limit actually to how long you can stream. Yeah. So, eyes are so difficult because we have eyes are very important for the human perception about each other. So we have so strong symbols in our brains about how the symbols of eyes. You see that in every painting done by a person who hasn't actually learned how to see or to kind of free himself from the symbols. You can actually see that eyes are very drawn and very, it's the same thing all over. I did it myself in the beginning. You can see that video I have on my YouTube channel, my early works, or what is talent anyway, where I show basically my first works and how I only saw symbols. And I was actually blind. I could see, but I didn't see. And that is so strange today, because you think you're also the same thing as with consciousness. Even stupid people think they are conscious. And you can say, yeah, they are conscious, but are they really conscious? And I would say no, they have the potential. That is why every human being have an equal worth, because every human being have the capacity to become conscious and have deep introspection, but it doesn't mean that people actually use it. And if you don't use it, you're not really conscious, because, and that is actually why I eat meat. And that is because I know that I'm pretty sure that there is no animal on the planet that really understand that they exist in a very abstract and introspection type of way. So if I actually thought the pig actually were, pig or sheep or whatever actually were really conscious, I would view it as cannibalism, basically, or murder. Then I would actually view it as murder. So I can actually, in a way, when you think like that, I can actually empathize with the vegans. They actually believe that some of them, they actually believe that the other animals are conscious, and they even, some of them, dumb as it is, think even fish is conscious, which of course they are not. And you can test it, and then they say, oh well, it's a different kind of intelligence. No, but it's not a different kind of intelligence. We had that during the whole evolution of a species. We had this level of consciousness, and it wasn't a level or a different consciousness, it was basically levels towards higher consciousness, or what became consciousness. So there isn't different consciousnesses, there are just different levels. It's like you have the number one, which is the amoeba, which only do things from RNA and DNA and stuff like that, and then you build on it and it becomes more and more complex as you. That is why our dogs seem conscious to us, because they are so close to us in their way of, they are so highly, come so high on the tree of consciousness that they start to look like our consciousness, and that's why we are adding way too much of it into them. So, but you could have a discussion when it comes to dogs, pigs, apes, and maybe even whales or elephants, and animals who have basically a higher consciousness. I wouldn't say sheep. Plant eaters are usually way less conscious than carnivores. It's because the carnivore simply has a bigger brain because they eat meat. So maybe we could have an ethical debate of how, at least we have to treat them well, because they actually feel this higher type of angst and pain. Also, you could also say, well, it doesn't really matter because they are not really conscious, so when they are dead, they are dead. But you can say the same about, as George Carlin did say, the comedian George Carlin. He said, the problem isn't being dead, the problem is getting dead, and it doesn't really matter how much you are tortured before you die, because when you're dead, it's over anyway. But, yeah. So, anyway, that's why I eat meat, because I don't consider animals conscious. And that came from this thing that we are a way for the universe to see itself. And no other animal actually know anything or have the capacity to think about the moon as a big cheese. There is no other animals who do that. Because we all know that the moon is a big cheese in the sky, and when we finally go there, we will just start eating, having fun. So, blah blah blah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, painting. Now I will add some. I need to get this 2-day, and that is actually quite blue, like in the other, the one I delivered. But here, everything is more subdued, and only the beard actually on the side here would be quite fun because there's kind of a thin line of beard that kind of glides into the background. That would be very helpful to kind of build the sculptural reality of this. Now, if you're new watching, remember thumbs up and ask questions if you like. So, I guess who wants to ask me questions has gone to bed by now, so that's fine too. Now there is so much happening in the background also, so I'll just add some more paint to it. My mother actually mentioned she saw the portrait I sent off 2 days ago, and it was differently, it wasn't so penciled out, and I guess that's true because I see that as I evolve as a painter, I move more and more towards the kind of Rembrandtish way of painting, and I appreciate more and more brushwork. It almost like you fall in love with I fall in love with the brush, and the marks of my choices. And that is what brushwork actually is. You can actually see the choices of the artists on the canvas. Is when you see it, it's actually, I guess people doesn't think about that when they see a painting, that the brushwork is actually every choice he made. So it's basically a time capsule. What was that again? He said in our last stream, he said something with a time. I want to go back and remember exactly what he said. Was a brilliant thing because doing videos is like a frozen time. With every brushwork, every brush stroke is a manifestation of a choice. And the more choices, the more chaos. And getting this right is basically touching and touching and touching and touching and touching and touching and correcting and touching and correcting and touching. And it's basically letting, if you have enough skill to just let go and let things happen, it will resemble the same principle that nature creates all the shapes in the universe, from clouds to biological things, from how rocks is formed, how mountains are formed, how rivers are formed. Everything has this underlying mathematics, and it's driven by the laws of nature and chaos. Actually, chaos is very important. There's a very good documentary called, as I probably mentioned it 1,000 times in our videos, but I'm going to do it anyway. Again, it's called The Secret Life of Chaos. There's this atheist Arab guy who has the, or maybe he's Persian, who has that science program. But it's so brilliant to see how everything overlaps and how the laws of nature actually creates the shapes. And the same thing goes for this. When you have the skill to just let go and you just observe and take in information and you move the information step by step, it's basically like the same principle that nature creates a tree or builds a tree. There are certain laws that just kicks in when you touch things over and over and over again, and that is the chaos laws, and so it's a mix between cause and effect, because of course the touching is a cause, the effect is a result, and then when you do it over and over again, chaos appear. And as to say about the universe, if you could roll back the universe to the first thing that happened in the quantum soup that started the process of creating the universe, and you rolled everything back and you basically started exactly at the same point, you wouldn't get the same universe over time, because the laws of chaos would actually give you a universe with planets and galaxies and conscious creatures like us, but it would be totally different planets, and you wouldn't get the same universe. And that is, and you intuitively you would think that, hey, you would get the same universe because it's cause and effect, but they don't add in what I think the cause of it. I think is just infinity or eternity and a multiverse, and understanding that existence is infinite and is causeless, and the chaos comes from that fact that there is no beginning and there is no end, and nothing really happens twice because there's an infinite number of possibilities. That is my hypothesis, though. They say that everything can happen twice or over and over again in an infinite universe, but I disagree, because I think that if you have infinitely many possibilities and infinitely many touches, you will never get the same, because it isn't necessary. It is an open sea. There is no limit to the possibilities. You know, in every system which you can actually calculate how much time it takes to create the same thing over again. It's also always a locked system. It's like you're playing the lotto, and you can calculate how many tickets you need to buy to win the lottery, and there is a finite number, and therefore you can actually calculate the cause and effect. The same when playing cards or whatever you play. There is so many possibilities, and when these are used, it will happen again. But that does not, I think that phenomenon doesn't really happen in the multiverse, because it's not a closed system. You can get an infinite amount of possibilities, and therefore every atom are free to do or move, every subatomic particle. Of course, you can say that the universe is a locked system, but I don't think it is so. I think you are fed things from the outside, and maybe cosmic multiverse gravity comes in some way and creates the chaos. I don't know, but it's not static, that's for sure. If it was static, there would be so many possibilities, and you will have infinite many lives to live, as many physicists say, but I totally disagree. Okay, that was a long digression. Anyway, so that is, knowing that I talk about here is very important when you paint, because you can be sure that if you stick with it, if you stick with your painting, despite not being able to get to finish, if you just keep on doing it and you expand your skill so you're able to pick up the right information and repeat that information, you will be able to finish it sooner or later. So there are basically, I don't know how many possibilities there is for me in ways I can actually put on paint, and how long I can put on paint, and how much brushwork I can put on, but it's basically, I think it's probably way more than chess to say it that way. So yeah. I think it actually starts to look a little bit like him now. Tell me in comments. Anyway, just gonna pop out and see how it's doing now. I'm just watching 8 likes. Whatever. So many people pops in and out, and people don't press the like button. It's bloody well depressing, you know. It's so easy. It's almost like maybe some people doesn't have. That's a possibility. People don't have. What do you call it? Have a channel or yeah, you know what I mean. And if you don't have that, you can't actually comment or press like on everything. A profile, of course, on YouTube. That was a word I was looking for. So maybe I should close it down after 1.5 hours. It's 87 minutes. Maybe I could go for another half hour, something. Get some more coffee, I think. Have some coffee here. I think I'm gonna move it a little bit further away now. Just a tiny bit here. So I can see the full thing there actually, how it's gonna be. So yeah. Okay, but I think I'm starting to get more right now. I also want to make a video on the process today. So. So, I'm trying to, this is so soft. Ugh, I saw this annoying girl painting these paintings on YouTube. And this also, oh, it's so, you know, when it, I call it advanced kitsch, when it's just tricks, you know, it's just, oh, just thought itself to, oh, I can put on some color there, and it's figurative, and it looks so, it's kind of an advanced, more advanced Bob Ross. And it's so sad because people are tricked by these painters who play this, I'm so happy, 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 oh, so happy, happy. Oh, this is so, oh, gods. You know, and there's no real painting. There's no real struggle. It's the same bullshit every time. There's no substance. I want paintings to have substance. I want them to represent time. I want to really see the artist struggle. Look at the landscapes of Turner. Go in and look at the paint. Stand like this and just look at all the beautiful brushwork. How he has moved everything, scrape things down, just getting into this, pushing and pushing and pushing. And there this chick is just, oh, just draw some wings on a face and put some runny paint on it around, so a little bit, and then it looks so great. Yeah, I shouldn't talk bad about other artists, but it's not art, it's kitsch, you know, it's so easy. There's no substance, there's no depth, there is no struggle, there is no universe. I want paintings to reflect nature. And nature is real. And those paintings aren't real. So yeah, it actually pisses me off. And it's almost like, sometimes I feel like if you look at the things that get millions of views, it's almost like the worse it is, the more views. And then I'm dumb enough, I can't stop commenting, and I probably get fed more of that. So I should actually stop. Yeah, I should be more stoic about it. I should just stop watching, stop complaining, and just ignore it, because the world is actually full of bullshit anyway, and you see that in modern art too. It's just, you know, the banana thing, for heaven's sakes. They pay millions for this, hanging this banana on the wall. In Norway there was the same thing, but then the banana was thrown on the floor, and this banana was on the wall, and people are actually paying money for this. And I think here we have a world where 1 billion people are starving to death, or starving, and you lose like 36,000 kids a day from poverty alone, and we pay millions for the right to hang I'm not going to use that word, a banana on some gallery wall. And this is the level of collective madness we have in the world today. It's just ridiculous. It's so sad. And you look, then you go to one of the great museums and you see Rembrandt, or you see the great statues of the great art, and I just want to weep. It's so sad. And it's all because of the complete other relativism that comes from basically from art, or from this crazy notion that every expression or every thought is equally valuable, which it is not. The less complex a thought or a piece of art is, the less important it is. But then again, there is a dimension of honesty that is very important. So And even totally people who are in the beginning and are honest, they can create way better artworks than people who hide behind easy tricks. So yeah. Okay. I think I'm getting somewhere actually. Some more medium. 95 minutes. Yeah, I do think I need a break. So if anyone want to ask me a question, now is the time. Medium. Then I'm gonna do a 20-minute video to my tutorial, and then I'm gonna have some food, and then I'm going to paint for a couple of more hours, and I'm gonna write a little bit because it's a while since I was writing. Just a few words like Marcus Aurelius, thinking about life and how you can actually improve yourself and how you should deal with life struggles while you wait for the big silence or the big infinity. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. No questions. Anyway, I will plan my streams a little bit earlier from now on, and so people can actually know that I'm going to stream in the evening. So let's I just love this thing called painting. I just love it. Gives me a sense of meaning. It's gonna be so strange to die. It'll be sad actually. I hope I die. I remember Christopher, my hero. He did say we shouldn't have heroes, and I actually agree. Because if you have heroes, you tend to not to be critical to what they are saying. And luckily, I have a very free-spirited mind, and if I find something to be wrong, I don't fall in love with my own opinions. I just change them if I'm wrong, or if I think that the person I listen to is wrong, despite liking him or agreeing. So yeah. But he said when he got his esophageal cancer that he would like to die in the active, because of course we can't remember getting born. Of course, some people think they had even past lives, but I'm not talking about those people because they are delusional. I'm pretty sure they are delusional, so sure that I'm willing to say it. As who was it? Who was it said that religion is a collective neurosis or collective psychosis, and is exactly what it is. But anyway, he said he wanted to die in the active, which means you don't want to go in a car accident or something like that, because you will kind of miss out of the most important moment of your life, the moment you cease to exist. And I would like to think, fuck, I'm going nowhere. Anyway, the good thing about painting is that it brings a perfect distraction when you can stay, if you can stay in the active. Actually, what to do with it here now? You see, take a mirror and look at yourself now. It's starting to fall into place. It just goes a little bit more up there. Yeah, maybe a little bit more up there. And stuff. Now, I would really like to go in the active. Of course, it would be enough to become like very, very old. So statistically, there was a very small chance of becoming like 2 months more, a year more. And you come to a point where you actually know objectively that you are really in your last days. And despite maybe falling into a coma or something, it wouldn't be because you have already had that inner struggle, knowing it, not being delusional. So, see now I'm making the hair bigger again. And I took it all the way from here and here down there, and I moved the face in and I moved it up. Now it is actually basically correct, and that's a good thing. Now I can actually measure. Oops, maybe. Yeah, this one goes more down. That was what was wrong. So we do like this, and I see the top of the hair. Here. Oh, I'm cheating. Yeah, so I guess it was a little bit too high. I went too high. And I think this is going to be more down or whatever. I started to go back up again for some reason. And that is maybe because I haven't painted in the light areas in the hair. Well, my brain tries to trick me all the time. I can look at the painting and I see one thing, and I look away and I see a different thing, and that's why I go back and forth and back and forth. As I mentioned earlier, if you go back and forth enough times, at some point you will get closer and closer, or actually every time you get closer and closer to how it actually is. So, yeah. Something is just okay. But I will see that. I feel I am a bit spent now because of all my talking, and I need to focus better alone, I guess. So yeah, I think this was enough. Nobody's asking any questions anyway. So then I just hope to see you in my next stream, which will be maybe on Sunday evening. Yeah, maybe Sunday evening. So yeah, or maybe even tomorrow or Saturday. We'll see what happens. So if anyone have a question, this is your last chance to ask me a question, or I will turn this off now because I'm getting quite exhausted actually. I think the hair looks really strange. So do like this, just like this, like this. And I think this goes down more like that. I think that was, or maybe this goes a little bit more in. But this is the things that will create that chaos thing that will give my painting character over time. So with this, I thank you for watching. If you see this after the fact, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment, and also you can share it with your friends on social media. If you want to support my channel, you can do that by going to PATRON, buy me a coffee. You can also do a super chat or a thank you on my channel. Many ways. One of the best ways to support me is of course give a thumbs up and watch my videos. Put them on, even if you don't watch them, just put them on and let them play, because it ups my view time and everything. So yeah, I think maybe this has to be higher. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. This has to be higher. I saw this now. So I talk too much, you know. So now it looks kind of better. Anyway, I think I'm starting to kind of get it to where it should go. Also, I see these. I put these too high. But it's just in the beginning anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see you in my next stream. And yeah, 10 likes was not bad. No super chats, but maybe that will come someday. Anyway, and nice to document my work. So, see ya. Have a good one. Good night.